The untouchable True School Sports Empire proudly presents something the boxing game's been missing. Hey, what's going on? It's your boy BT, and I came here to talk some boxing with the thousands of True School Sports subscribers. Now, shout out to all the lovely people and the fine folks out there in the world, all the boxing fans, all the supporters, all the viewers of True School Sports. You know, we're just grateful and blessed to be here and happy to be here. We got a great live ahead of us today, a great topic today with the whole Anthony Joshua Usyk thing going on out there in Jeddah, Saudi Arabia. So we're going to talk about that, you know, some of what Anthony Joshua said. But man, oh man, before I get into that, let's get into just some programming reminders for this week. Tomorrow, I'll be going live for Jonathan Gonzalez against Barriga on ProBox TV. So we'll be live for that tomorrow. Saturday, we'll be live for Bam Rodriguez versus Rungvisai. Pops will be live for that. I may be live for along with Pops, but I'm not sure where I'm going to be yet, but there will be a live Saturday as well. Yeah, so that's what we got there on that front. Today, for those that know, and for those that don't know, I've had a long day today. You know, today I had the opportunity to go on the Boxing Voice podcast. You know, great brothers over there. You know, Ness, shout out to Ness. Shout out to, Danny, great people over there. Went over there for like 2 hours today. Was great. You know, it was going back and forth with Ness about Andrade and Benavidez and Chocolatito and Noye and all these different types of fighters. And it was just a really good live. So go check that out. I posted the link in my community post. If you don't see it in my community post and you don't watch on the Boxing Voice, don't worry, because I'm going to post the hour or the 2 hours that I was live on the Boxing Voice here on True School Sports. So just a really, really good time. And yeah, you know, we're in a great place. You know, right now, for those that don't know, I'm out in Vegas, and I'm gonna say this: if you guys watch boxing content and you've seen these walls before, then you would know where I'm at, and I'm gonna leave it at that. But overall, just a great day, great time to be alive. You know, great time to be a boxing fan. And yeah, you know, we got this fight, these couple fights coming up this weekend. We're gonna be enjoying all of them. So it is what it is. But before we proceed and get into the main part of the live, let me just address some of the comments. If you're tuning in, if you're one of the 3 people here, make sure you smash that like button. Definitely take the time to subscribe, because we're on the road to 50,000 subscribers, and I'm gonna get there pretty quickly. So join the empire today. Help me help you. Yeah. So let's get to the comments. So we got my man 1SSS. He says, there ain't no voice in the game like True School Sports. Ain't no sight in the game like True School Sports. He's quoting. He remixed the Boxing Voice song, and I appreciate that, man. Thank you. You know, it was good being on there today. And Michael Manning says, and that's the truth. The crazy thing about it is, I've been having money. I've been having pussy. My shades cost $600. 2 Chainz. Shout out to 2 Chainz, man. Yes. Yeah. I thought you were starting at 245. 245 what? Nah, I wasn't starting anything at 245, but we're here now. Hopefully you're here. Boxing. Brandon D. Hooker, what's good, champ? Let's go, BT. What's good? Shout out to my boy Brandon Hooker out there in H-Town. Hope all is well with you, champ. Yeah, make sure y'all smash that like button. If you're live right now, if you're watching a playback, definitely smash that like button so that these YouTube algorithms know that your boy BT is, you know, the untouchable. This is the home of boxing, and this is a place for the boxing fans where we cover the whole sport. We don't demean the smaller weight classes. We don't hate on the bigger weight classes. We love all the weight classes. We love the fighters because we love boxing. So that's just what it is. And you know what? I wanted to get into it, man, because the hold on. But Gerald Morgan says, "What's going on, my brother? True School, my soldiers, and I appreciate you." Canelo exposed. I can't get enough of yes, Gerald. I don't know if you saw, but I wore the Canelo exposed by Biball t-shirt. I had people triggered. I had people laughing. I had some people triggered, and it was a great time. I was on the Boxing Voice today on the show, so it was a really great time. But yeah, I wanted to get into this whole thing with Anthony Joshua, because him and Oleksandr Usyk, they had their whole little back in their face off, and they were doing some promo work out there in Jeddah, Saudi Arabia. You know, Anthony Joshua, a lot of the talk is obviously going to be centered around him, because he's the guy that's made a lot of adjustments for this fight, hiring Robert Garcia. You know, apparently he's taking notes, and he's got grabs, and he's got all these things to beat Usyk, and we'll get into all that in a second. Shout out to Ordinary Pete And shout out to my guy, Rico Ransom. What's up, man? What's good, champ? Hope all is well with you. But let's go to screen share. We here. It's the untouchable True School Sports Empire talking that world-class boxing content. Talking that world-class boxing talk. It don't matter if it's here. It don't matter if it's D-style boxing. It don't matter if it's the boxing voice. I'm always world-class. Anywhere, everywhere we go. You know what I'm saying? So great to have you guys here. But go to screen share because I want this whole live, really, for being honest, this whole live today is centered around some comments that Anthony Joshua made regarding, himself, with the Usyk fight. So here's what he said on ESPN. So he said he believes that by reclaiming the titles versus Usyk, that he's going to earn and cement his status in the sport as a boxing legend. Now, mind you, okay, before I get into the quote, mind you, Anthony Joshua, to his credit, has in such a short amount of time compared to like Wilder and Fury, he has become two-time heavyweight champion. He wins this fight, he will be three-time heavyweight champion. So, not too bad for a guy they say is a stiff bodybuilder and is not that good and all these kind of things. But here's what he said verbatim. So Anthony Joshua said the following, and I quote, "I feel that when I go and beat Usyk, that I will get the credit I deserve again, and I'll get the admiration for being a true boxing legend. I fought for the heavyweight championship in my 16th fight. I felt like that's kind of overlooked. This is my 12th title fight in a row. I just feel like sometimes, even though we're selling out arenas and it's going to be popular, I don't really care for that stuff. I just want respect in the division." So listen, he's Anthony Joshua. He's on his Aretha Franklin. He wants some RESPECT. And you know what? I think for him to feel that way, it's very just because like I really do believe Anthony Joshua. There's not enough appreciation for him. I'm not sitting here saying Anthony Joshua is the greatest fighter in the world. I'm not saying he's the best heavyweight in the world. But this was a guy that carried the heavyweight division on his shoulders for about a good year and a half stretch when Fury was out the picture and Wilder wasn't really fighting the creme de la creme of the division. This was the guy that really injected a lot of life into the division. So for that time in his career, I've always appreciated Agent, and for that time, I'll always be a fan. But going back to his comments, he then goes on by saying, I quote, "It makes me feel more comfortable knowing that I've been in the ring with a fighter before, but ultimately, he might come completely different. I definitely feel my training approach changing because I know where I wasn't good enough, and areas where I was exposed." All right? And look, I've got a third chance to become heavyweight champion of the world. I'm not just going to go in there thinking it's going to be easy. I will address the weaknesses, and I'll make sure I get it right and become champion again. I think it's a task that's definitely possible. Now it's all about, he's not good enough anyway. So that's the motivation to prove that I am good enough, because when you are doing it and you're on top, it's hard to get credit. And he's not lying. They don't really love you when you're at the top. They don't really love you when you're doing good. They don't really love you when you're making $1 million paydays. They don't love it when the women want to be with you and the guys want to be you, so he ain't lying about that. But, Anthony Joshua, I think, has a great chance to do something remarkable in this fight with Usyk because, right now the consensus is that Usyk might just be the best heavyweight in the world. And right now the consensus is that Usyk might just be the best pound-for-pound fighter in the world, point blank, period. So my thing is, like, Anthony Joshua does go in there and he does beat him. You're talking about a guy who is a 3-time heavyweight champion. He's beaten Vladimir Klitschko. He would now beaten Usyk. He's beaten, some of the best names that have touched that division in years. So I think this win, to me, this fight for Anthony Joshua is the moment of truth. It's the moment where we see, okay, we saw what you did against Ruiz in a rematch, and all credit to you. But this fellow right here, Usyk, he's cut from a different cloth. This isn't Ruiz. This isn't a guy that, was happy to be champion. This isn't a guy that was, lucky to win. This is a guy that all he's done his whole life is win. All he's done his whole entire boxing career, from being a jit to being a grown man, all he's done is win. So it's like now you're dealing with a whole much different animal. A southpaw who can move, can box, can punch, is sharp. So Anthony Joshua has a lot to deal with. And I gotta say this. I watched some of the footage of the little thing they were doing in Saudi Arabia. They had like all these people playing drums and it was like one big party. It almost seemed like something straight out of a movie. So I really think that come August the 20th, the scenes out there in Saudi Arabia are going to be nothing short of spectacular. You had Usyk dancing with the people, having a lot of fun with the people out there. So it was a beautiful thing to see. But the real important thing about this fight, that the point that people really are intrigued by, the storyline going in from the Joshua side of things, is obviously Robert Garcia. Now, I had a chance to actually listen to Robert Garcia talk about Anthony Joshua and training him, and I'll tell you what I think. Okay, I think Robert Garcia is very level-headed, and he's bringing a lot of good experience, and he's bringing a lot of great things to the corner of Anthony Joshua. You know, he's not going to teach Anthony Joshua the sweet science of boxing, but the beautiful thing about Robert Garcia in this scenario is that this is not a challenge for Anthony Joshua where he needs to learn the sweet science of boxing. This is more of a challenge where it's like, okay, you need to go back to being the dominant fighter you were. You need to go back to fighting like a big man. You need to go back to really going out there and putting in some work on this dude, because if you go back and you watch the first fight, there were plenty of times and plenty of instances where, you know, Anthony Joshua would hit Usyk with something and it would get his attention, but there was so few and far between with the punches from Joshua that Usyk was able to box, move, slug when he wanted to, and he just fought the wrong fight, and Usyk took full advantage of it and capitalized on every mistake. Now with Garcia, you would have to believe that he's going to come forward. He's going to fight more of that traditional big man type of fight. And maybe, just maybe, if Anthony Joshua is all the way up for this fight, maybe it's one of those cases where, okay, a good big man beats a good little man, you know, that type of things. But we'll see. I personally, look, I was on the Boxing Voice today. Shout out to those guys again. And they asked me who I think will win. Personally, I think Usyk will win the rematch, because I just think Usyk's style is all wrong for Joshua. Joshua has never been known for like his fitness, so I think if Usyk can get to the middle rounds and use that footwork, make Anthony Joshua have to reset and counterpunch him, and you know, just box and move the way he did in the first fight, and then pick his shots when to attack, then I think Anthony Joshua coming forward in a more aggressive style will ultimately be to his own detriment. You know what I'm saying? So I'm very, very intrigued by this fight. I really am. You know, the question now for Usyk is like, okay, you beat Joshua. For many years when you were beating these cruiserweights, you kind of flew under the radar. You know, you flew under the radar. The hardcore boxing nerds like myself knew that you were a great fighter, but the masses didn't really know as much about you as maybe they should have. But now that you beat Anthony Joshua, you are now a household name. There are expectations placed upon you. You are now not the hunted, but rather the hunter, but rather the hunted. And everyone's going to pick Usyk to win this fight. That's just how boxing works. That's just how it works. So it's like, now can Usyk, with the expectations placed upon him, can he actually perform? That's always an interesting thing, because sometimes it's easy for these guys to perform well when they don't have expectations to win, but when they have the expectation to win, they don't perform as well. We've seen it time and time again. We saw it with Josh Taylor against Catterall. We saw it with Kambosos against what's his name, Devin Haney. So very intriguing on that side of things from Usyk. But getting back to the comments, Gerald says, "Oh my goodness, I love it. Salute to you and Pops. I always pray you guys doing well. Thanks for keeping us updated and entertained in the sport of boxing." No, absolutely, champ. Thank you, Gerald. Wonderful people like yourself for making this channel a fun place to come to every day, and people like yourself, people like Jairo, Jesus, the viewers, you guys make it very excited for me to come here and just talk boxing every single day. So I'm always, when I don't go live, like I'll tell you guys this, when I don't go live for like 2 or 3 days, I actually start to get a little depressed, because I really do enjoy this. So, you know, appreciate you guys, and thank you for everything. You know, if you're here right now, smash that like button, subscribe, super chat, all that good stuff, because we here. Brandon D says, "I think Dale Kinhan's out there pulling strength with that Arab money. Fury will definitely get that $500 billion to come out of retirement and fight AJ. He ain't getting no damn $500 billion. And nobody got $500 billion. But you know what? I personally think I actually want Usyk to win the rematch, because I want to see what Fury does. If Usyk beats AJ, and and Fury is tasked with the possibility of having to come out of retirement to fight, Alexander Usyk for the undisputed title, will he show as much urgency, or will he say, you know what, I've completed boxing, I had a remarkable career, I completed the heavyweight division, I don't need to fight Usyk, I'm good. You know, I want to see how he reacts. Yeah, man. Yo, Big BT, Big Baby Miller looked like he was having a heart attack. It was a sumo match in the last round. Miller dropped his mouth guard. He got hit a lot, but went the distance. I didn't see the fight happen already. The fight happened already. See, I was under the impression that Miller versus this guy in Argentina was going to be at night, but you know what? I know I am on the West Coast, so I'm 3 hours behind where I normally am at, so it probably did. You know, I saw pictures of him of what he looked like on the scales. He looked really bad. Like Jarrell Miller has really let himself go in a similar fashion to the way Trevor Bryan has let himself go. These are two fighters that at one point in time were promising young prospects from the USA. Boxing, the powers that be in the boxing business got them so damn discouraged to where they have no self-esteem anymore. They got no damn shit. They just going there flabby. They're not looking after themselves. It's really a sad sight. So, you know, he got the win. Hopefully, Jarrell can start coming down in weight and losing that weight, because I'm gonna tell you this: 341 pounds is not gonna cut it if he wants to make any sort of legitimate noise in the heavyweight division. Hyro says, I screen recorded it on the burner. Check it out. The whole thing? You screen recorded the whole interview? The whole boxing voice thing? Or the Miller fight? I'll check it out. Hyro. But yeah, you know, Anthony Joshua, going back to his original quote, he said that if he wins this fight, he's a boxing legend, right? And my thing is like, okay, he might have a point, because when Lennox Lewis was fighting, right? And I'm in no way insinuating that Anthony Joshua is as good as Lennox Lewis, because he's not. I'm not insinuating that he's a better heavyweight or in the same league as Lennox Lewis, but I'm talking about in terms of how their careers played out, their career arc. Lennox Lewis got knocked out by Rahman and McCall, avenged losses, and maybe he didn't get appreciated, especially here in the States, the way he should have when he was fighting. As history played itself out, as he got more distant from his career, the appreciation level for the career of Lennox Lewis grew, because he was able to lose but then avenge his losses. He defeated every man he ever stepped in the ring with. And for Anthony Joshua, now that similar situation presents itself. He lost to Ruiz, came back, beat him. He lost to Usyk, now he's going to come back. He beats him to become 3-time heavyweight champion of the world. You know, that's the kind of things that, you know, legends do. Look at Evander Holyfield, right? Personal favorite. I love Evander Holyfield. One of my favorite fighters in the history of boxing. People always talk about, when they talk about the greatness of Evander Holyfield, they always say, like, Evander was a 4-time heavyweight champion. Well, guess what? You can't become 2-time heavyweight champion or 3-time heavyweight champion or 4-time heavyweight champion if you don't lose. You need to lose to become a multiple-time heavyweight champion. So it's like, I think Anthony Joshua is onto something there, because Usyk is a great fighter. Dare I say, Usyk is an all-time great fighter. And, you know, beating him at this stage, to me, would be very impressive for AJ, because when you factor in the money he's made, you know, the status he has in the sport, to stay hungry, as he always says, to stay hungry enough to go in there and beat a guy like Usyk is going to take a lot, you know? Because, like, look, it's very easy in life, not just in boxing, but just anything in life. You know, I see it with people all the time. You know, they get some money, they get them a nice fancy girlfriend or wife, they get complacent. They don't want to go to the gym. They don't look after their health like they used to. They don't do the things that got them to the big money in the first place, and they just fall off. They're not who they once were. The fire isn't there. The desire isn't there. But now it's like, if Anthony Joshua can do that against a guy like Usyk, you have to respect that, because now he's done it as a guy that, you know, has already achieved a lot in boxing. That is a multi-millionaire. You know, he don't need a box no more. He make more money with endorsement deals than he would from boxing. Or maybe not, because these Saudis are putting up ridiculous site fees. So maybe not anymore, but, you know, you get what I'm saying. Hyro says, AJ's going to be like John Cena. I'm a 13-time WWE champion. I lost the belt 13 times. Exactly. Ric Flair. Woo! Everyone loves Ric Flair, because Ric Flair, what was he, the 18-time heavyweight champion or whatever it was? 18-time, 19-time heavyweight champion? Think about Booker T. You know, the 5-time WBCW champion. Think about my boy Scott Steiner. You know, yay, Scott Steiner. You know what? Nobody's super chat, but you know what? We'll give him a Scott Steiner. Scott Steiner, put these hoes in a Steiner recliner.
Bump and grind. And it's only a matter of time because he called me the big bad booty daddy.
Guys like that. Think about these guys like Scott Steiner, okay? These guys are only looked at to be as great as they are in fighting sports, in wrestling, in all these other sports because of the fact that they lost, they came back, and they still managed to triumph. So it's like it's a beautiful thing for Anthony Joshua. And like I said, I'm really more intrigued about the Usyk side of things because now that he is much more of a household name and he's not just some guy that, boxing nerds like myself throw out there when we talk about the best fighters in the world. He's now a household name. He's the guy that beat Anthony Joshua. He's the guy that was undisputed at cruiserweight. He's got legitimate accomplishments. And now there is going to be some serious expectation placed upon him more so than usual. And my thing is, can Anthony Joshua or Usyk rise to the occasion when he is the favorite? Because a lot of people can't do that when they're the favorite. We've seen it with George Kambosos. We've seen it with Josh Taylor. So we're going to see. Slotello says, AJ punks Usyk. Usyk is rattled. You think so? I don't think so. You think Usyk is down bad? Man, Usyk don't give a shit about none of that face-off bullshit, psychological warfare. Usyk, all I know is when them lights come on and it's time to go to war, Oleksandr Usyk is he's gonna be there to fight. He's gonna know how to fight, and Anthony Joshua gonna have some serious problems on his hand. That's what I do know. And Anthony Joshua better have some answers because in some ways, like I'm intrigued about Anthony Joshua because I feel like he is having a little bit of an identity crisis. But I also think like he may be falling into the same trap in this fight that he fell into before he fought Ruiz. If you guys remember when he fought Andy Ruiz Jr. the first fight, at that time he hired a sports psychologist to get into his brain and do all these crazy things. So he hired a sports psychologist. And the man had a panic attack before he walked into the ring, supposedly. Now he's with Robert Garcia, and he's taking notes of everything Robert Garcia is telling him, and he's reading them every day, which is a good thing, but sometimes I think you can overcomplicate boxing. He's reading them every day. He's got diagrams. He's got all this shit. So hopefully, for his sake, he can internalize all this information, and when it comes time to execute what he needs to execute, he can execute it on the night, because if he can't, and he falls into the same patterns he did last time, which I think is a very possible scenario. A lot of times it takes trainers a couple of training camps, not just one training camp, but like 2-3 training camps to implement their philosophies and their ideas on a fighter's style and a fighter's skill set. You know what I'm saying? Anthony Joshua could get hit one time the wrong way by Usyk. Usyk might pivot or reverse pivot or shift the wrong way one time and give him PTSD in the first fight, and he might just revert back to type. We just don't know what will happen with AJ till the night happens. But one thing's for sure, I'm going to agree with him. If he beats Anthony Joshua, or if Anthony Joshua beats Usyk, I should say, if he beats Usyk and he's able to become a 3-time heavyweight champion, when you consider the circumstances, when you consider everything he's achieved in boxing and the status he's at, then you got to consider him a boxing legend of sorts. You have to. How many 3-time champions of the heavyweight division aren't legends? You can't say he's not. So big fight for him, and I'm very excited for it. I'll tell you this: if I had enough money right now, I'd go to Saudi Arabia my damn self for this fight. That's how hyped I am for this fight. But you know what? It's okay, because October 22nd, I believe, London, O2 Arena. Your boy BT will be there in London for Artur Beterbiev versus Anthony Yarde. Lions in the camp. Can't wait for that fight. So should be a lot of fun when it happens. Did you see the stare off in the ring promo? Usyk backed off first and tried to play it off by dancing after AJ walked to him. I seen it, but like I don't always read into that stuff. I've seen instances where guys look away first and they wind up winning the fight. So who cares? Who cares? Anthony Joshua just better know how to fight like a big man this fight, and he better know how to cut those pivots off from Usyk. He better know how to take away the left hand. He better know something. He better have changed and tweaked something, because if he comes in here and revert back to type, he is getting stopped. No ifs, no ands, or buts about it. So imagine thinking a face-off wins fights. You've already beat him, for fuck's sake. You said, yeah, he's already beat him. He's already beat the guy. So I don't know what you're talking about. But Gerald says, LOL, actually, John Cena and Ric Flair are tied at 16-time heavyweight champions. Salute to the Cena Nation. I honestly don't think Taxpayer wants to come back and fight Usyk. Yeah, salute to John Cena. I remember when I was a young kid, a young little whippersnapper. My dad took me to, when I was 12, my dad took me to the American Airlines Arena, 2006, Royal Rumble. I saw John Cena give Edge the freaking FU in person. So shout out to John Cena and shout out to Ric Flair. But as far as the second part of your comment, he says, I don't think Tyson Fury wants to come back and fight Usyk. That's what you know what I'm of the same mindset. I don't think that fight is a fight that really gets him going because first of all, Usyk is literally like the exact type of fighter that Fury struggles with. Usyk is that. If we look at what you would call it, what's his name? If we look at Steve Cunningham, when Fury fought Steve Cunningham, smaller guy but very fast. You saw how he was able to give Tyson Fury problems. Look at early in his career, Nevin Pajek, these kind of guys. It's never the big physical guys. It's never the 6'6", 6'7". It's always the 6'3", 6'2", speedy guys with some power, some thump that gave Fury problems. So I just really think that Tyson Fury versus Usyk will be a very tough challenge for Fury. But you know what? Like I said on the Boxing Voice today, Tyson Fury, I'm picking him against everybody. I don't think any of these guys can beat him. And until I see otherwise, I'm just going to continue to pick Fury because I've always picked him. I picked him against Klitschko. I picked him in all 3 Wilder fights when it wasn't popular and when it was popular. So I'm going to continue to do that until somebody shows me that they can beat him. Shout out to my man QC says, what up, BT? To be honest, you're one of the hardest working YouTubers when it comes to boxing. Much respect, my dude. Much appreciated. I'm glad that you recognize my hard work. And it's going to stop. We're going to keep pouring it on. We're going to keep getting even better and better and better. I'm already working on getting some interviews for next week on the channel. The one interview that I have right now, there's no day locked in yet, but I was told by this person that it's going to happen next week. Timothy Bradley should be on the channel at some point next week. And then the other 2 that I'm going to work on getting, I don't know if I'll get them, but I want to get Dave Benavidez on here because I have a lot of questions for him. And I want to get Anthony Yard on here because I keep saying Lions in the camp, and I'm going to his fight in October. So, a lot of things happening here on True School Sports. Much appreciated. And listen, man, if y'all like the content, if y'all like what's going on here, if y'all want to keep seeing me go to places like Las Vegas, Philly, New York, Cali, all these places, them super chats go a long way. So, support the channel, drop the super chat. I'm not begging, but I'm just telling you, if you like the Boots interviews and the Bozy Ennis interviews, it was your super chats that got me to those places. So, I really do appreciate you guys. And we're going to keep it going. But yeah, man, Tyson Fury, I don't think is going to be someone that's eager to fight Usyk. But if Joshua does come out this fight, you got to understand, at that point, Joshua will now be 3-time heavyweight champion. He will have now defeated every man he's fought in the ring, kind of like Lennox Lewis did in his career. And now that would really, really, really set up the biggest fight in the history of British boxing between those 2. And that would be a spectacle. I'm going to tell you guys this for my American viewers. I went to the UK one time. And when I was out there, it was when AJ fought Andy Ruiz for the rematch. And I'm going to tell you guys this. Every bar, every pub, every place where people in the UK congregate to watch fights, all right, was packed. Was packed. Traffic was triple worse than it was normally to get from point A to point B. Every bar, every pub was packed to capacity when Anthony Joshua fought Ruiz in the rematch. So if it was like that when he fought Ruiz in the rematch, and if you guys want to see what that was like, just go on the channel and look up True School Sports goes to the UK for Anthony Joshua Ruiz tour or something like that. It was crazy. It was absolutely crazy. Just a much, much different fight culture than America. A lot more festive, a lot more people engaged in boxing in the country because the UK is a smaller country. Boxing is one of the top sports over there, so it's understandable. But yeah, if it was like that for Ruiz, man, if Fury fights Joshua at Wembley in the UK, that will literally stop not just the UK, but I think the entire continent of Europe. I legitimately believe that because you're talking about 2 of the biggest, not just boxers in the world, but as far as Europe goes, we're talking about European sports, because those guys are in Europe. Those guys are as big as a lot of the footballers, a lot of the soccer players and the Premier League players. Those guys are huge. Fury and Joshua are massive, massive stars over there. So, can't be said enough how big that fight is over there, in the UK. Shout out to my guy, Doughboy says, True School, you did a good job in Philadelphia. Interview with Team Edison. Thank you, man. Yeah, they were great interviews. I really enjoyed my time in Philly, and I'm really anxious to go back. Philly was a remarkable experience. AB says, "Get better internet. You're buffering." Well, I'm not at my house. I'm at somebody else's house right now. If you don't know, because this isn't my YouTube set, but I'll let them know that you told them. Slotello says, "Growing up as a kid watching WWE every weekend, literally standing John Cena like collecting WWE movies and WWE toys." I did the same thing when I was a kid. I did the same shit. I used to have the John Cena Word Life DVD. I'll never forget this. I had a backpack. I had a big ass backpack full of WWE action figures because when I was like 7 or 8 years old, I told my dad, all I want for Christmas is WWE action figures. So he got me WWE action figures. I had the WWE game on Game Boy Advance, So I was a WWE crazy WWE fan, just like you were, champ. I know everything you're talking about. I know everything you're talking about when it comes to being very involved and being part of the WWE universe. So yeah, man. Shout out to wrestling. That shit's still real. Hyro says the only Puerto Rican world champion is fighting tomorrow. Yes, and just so you guys know, we will be live for it tomorrow. Jonathan Gonzalez, the WBO light flyweight champion. The only, I joke around, but the only Puerto Rican in boxing worth a damn. Because I joke around because I'm very hard on these Puerto Rican fighters. But right now he's the only Puerto Rican world champion, and he's taking on a fighter in Mark Anthony Barriga, who's 11-1. If y'all want to watch that fight along with me tomorrow, it's going to be on the ProBox TV app, ProBox Promotions. It's a new app that's offering boxing content and fight cards all the time. So it's $1.99 a month. It's $18 for the year. I truthfully think it's the best deal in boxing because you get really good competitive fights and you get consistent fight cards. So yeah, if y'all want to watch along, that's where you can go watch along with me. You know what I'm saying? You and Pops are the two of my best friends that I never met. Hey, man. Well, Todd, I'm not sure where you're at, man, but, True School Sports is taking the show all the way around the world. So, at some point, I'm sure I'll be at a city or town near you, and we could definitely meet, get some good food. God bless you, champ. Much appreciated, Todd. Shout out to my guy, Tony. He says, Usyk finally took off the top. Some say he's larger than the first fight. What do you think? Now, I got to go watch it again, but from what I saw Usyk, right, he looked a little bit like, you guys can tell me what you saw, but he looked a little like, I don't know, maybe a little chubby to me. Maybe it's because the fight isn't, right around the corner, so maybe he's not peaking in camp, but he looked a little bit bigger than me. That's just as far as like a little bit, fatter, chubbier, in my opinion. What do you guys think? What about Shakur Stevenson? What about him? I love Shakur Stevenson. Great fighter. Do you think Fulton can beat Merjan? I think Fulton's going to go undisputed. I think the only person that can beat Fulton at 122 at this moment in time is really himself. He showed me a lot. When Stephen Fulton beat Angelo Leo, that's when I knew he was the real deal for sure. I know people want to say Brandon and Danny, but I know how good Angelo is because I spend truckloads of time with him. And to see how Steven beat him, let me know that he was the real deal. So I think he'll beat Merjan. We can't talk about Merjan, though, because Merjan is fighting Ronnie Rios this Saturday. So Merjan got to beat Ronnie Rios before that's even a possibility. He said Las Vegas. Well, listen, Todd, I'm going to be in Las Vegas till the middle of July. So I don't know if you got social media, but get me on Twitter at True School Sports, Instagram at Jessica from Dania. Email me, do something, and we'll definitely get up while I'm out here. I got some time out here now, so let me see. AB says, I found your channel through the Boxing Voice. Well, shout out to you, AB. Welcome to the untouchable True School Sports Empire, man. It's good to have you here, and it was definitely a pleasure of mine to go on the Boxing Voice. Let me just give my respect to Ness, the Boxing Voice, because the reality is this, guys. I give respect and credit where credit is due. I've been covering boxing on YouTube since 2015, and even before 2015, I was watching the Boxing Voice. So to actually be on the Boxing Voice was a beautiful thing for me today. So and I'm gonna be out here in Vegas for 3 weeks, and Ness, gave me the invite to come back again. So I definitely want to come back to the Boxing Voice at least one more time before I leave. Slotello says, a hot take, but a correct take. If AJ beats Usyk, he's top 10 all-time heavyweight. Just let it marinate. See, the heavyweight division is one of the most rich divisions in boxing history as far as like, history. So that's a very bold statement. I'm not gonna sit here and say that you're like crazy, but I have to like really sit down and think about that. I personally, I don't think he is. I really don't think he is top 10, but I'd have to look for myself. And yeah, that's what I'm saying, Rubio. Usyk looked a little bit fat around the sides. You put it greatly. He looked puffy. He looked not in the best shape, but I give him the benefit of the doubt. We're like what? It's what, June 22nd, 23rd. We're like just beneath 2 months away from the fight, so he's still got some time. He's got 2 weeks to prepare. Do you think that fight with Fulton and MJ can happen? I think it can because MJ's manager has a relationship with MJ, and Eddie Hearn has MJ on the undercard, so he can clearly he clearly doesn't care about him. Yeah, well, I think it can. The only reason I think that fight can happen is because it's in a lower weight classes where there's not as much money, and fights. That's why I always say like 122, 118, 115, 112, 108. A lot of people, like when I was on the Boxing Voice today, they kind of downplay they downplay these weight classes. But these are the weight classes where the real killers reside. Not because they're any better or any worse than the guys in other weight classes, but it's because the conditions that these guys have to fight under, with there not being as much money around, they have to make the best fights possible. Otherwise, these motherfuckers won't get paid. So that's why I say when you're a top guy at 115, 112, 108, 122, being a top guy in the weight classes is much different than being a top guy at 147, because a top guy at 147 can pick and maneuver his way through the rankings and all that kind of stuff. And it's just different. When you go there, you gotta fight a killer to really make any money. In my opinion, Fulton wants to move up and only fight with the PBC family of fighters. That's not true, because when I interviewed him, I asked him off camera, and Jamil Parker of YSN Sports Media, big shout out to him, go subscribe to him. Okay, we both asked him, would you be willing to fight the monster Inoue in Japan? And he said it plenty of times. Yes, I will go to Japan to fight the monster. He said it would even be better for me to fight in Japan because that's where the money will be, since he's the guy that'll bring more of the money. So I don't think the issue is Fulton. If he can't fight Inoue, I think it comes down to either Al or Bob. It won't be because of either of these two fighters. Fulton's a true fighter. He showed you that he is a true throwback Philadelphia Warrior of the highest order. I mean, look what he's done his last 3 fights. Angelo Leo, Brandon Figueroa, Danny Roman, beating them at their own game, showing you true pound-for-pound skills. So we shouldn't ever question the heart, the gumption, or the determination of a Stephen Fulton. That's number one. Then we go to the monster. I mean, need we say more about the monster? The man won a world title like his 6-7 pro fight. The man has an 18-0 with 16 knockout record in world title fights. Inoue is the truth. All right? Rob Calico says, pretty little try. Salute. I saw you on the Boxing Voice. Are you back in Miami already? Salute to your grind. No, I'm not in Miami. I'm in Las Vegas because the Boxing Voice studio is here in Las Vegas. If you notice, I'm still wearing the same shirt I was wearing earlier on the Boxing Voice. But no, I'm still here in Las Vegas. I was supposed to be in San Antonio this week, but I had to call an audible and come out here to Vegas to take care of some things. And what's funny is, right, I was supposed to be in Vegas out here for like 1 week and go back home. And the crazy thing is now I'm out here in Vegas for probably the next 2-3 weeks. So I'll be here in Vegas for a long time. So anybody who's watching this, if you're in the Vegas area, if you're going to be in the Vegas area anytime within these next 2 or 3 weeks, hit me up. Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. If you got me on any one of those 3, hit me up. I like to meet people that watch the channel. And yeah, straight up, I'll be here for a good time, and I'll be here for a long time. You feel me? So yeah, I'll be here in Vegas till probably like July 13th or 14th, because after this, from now till then, I'll go to LA for the Ryan Garcia Fortuna fight, and then from the Ryan Garcia Fortuna fight, I'll go back home for like 2 weeks, and then I'll be in Texas early August for the Virgil Ortiz versus Michael McKinson. So your boy's gonna be moving around. You know what I'm saying? And then I think the week after that, Top Rank's doing a show in South Florida for Teofimo Lopez. So a lot of great things coming up. Going to the UK in October for Better BF versus Anthony Yard, and it's gonna be probably the best months we've had here on True School Sports ever moving forward. So definitely look out. Shout out to my guy AMG Fresh. He says, "What if Canelo loses to Golovkin in the third fight? What if he loses to him?" Listen, man. Now at this point, look, I have no hatred towards Canelo. I know people think that I'm this angry guy who hates Canelo, and I was trying to explain this earlier on the Boxing Voice. I'm not. But we are going to have fun with these Canelo fans that wanted to put down fighters like Andrade, put down fighters like Benavidez, put down fighters like Bivol, put down fighters like Beterbiev. We're going to have fun with them. And I'm going to let you guys know right now, if Canelo loses to Golovkin, this channel getting named Canelo Exposed 2.0. Straight up. We might have to do it again. But in all honesty, I don't think he's losing to Golovkin. I think Golovkin will have some success boxing him. Maybe the fight will be close, but I think Canelo will get a decision. Michael Manning, one of my most loyal viewers. I swear to God, I gotta get Michael a shirt or something soon, because Michael, every video I see you in the comments, and that's beautiful to see. I'm happy that you're here, champ. God bless you and wherever you're at in the world. Yeah, he says it was a great one today. That's it, BT. That's it, BT, for going on that Boxing Voice. Yeah, it was great. I had a lot of fun. I'll definitely be back. What's up, BT? How do you see the Joshua fight? Do you think he can get the belts back? Absolutely. It all depends on, like I've said a couple of times, like, I don't think AJ has to change who he is. He don't got to reinvent the wheel to beat Usyk, but Anthony Joshua do got to make some tweaks. He's got to fight more of that big name, that big man fight. So I don't write out Joshua. We got, let me see. We got more comments. Shout out to everybody here, by the way. Shout out to all 25 of you here. Smash that like button so these YouTube algorithms start letting the world know that True School Sports is a place to be. It is the home of boxing. Please do that, and definitely let me know where you guys are watching from. Let me know what city, what state you guys are watching from, and I will definitely give you a shout out and show my love and my appreciation for you guys being here talking boxing with me. You guys know where I'm at right now. I'm in the fight capital of the world, Las Vegas, Nevada, my home away from home. Shout out to Vegas. Rob says, you got to hit the gyms. I heard a lot about sparring at the gyms. By the way, if you can co-host with Ness and Danny while in Vegas every day, that would be dope. We need those counterpoints on TVV. Yeah, let me know what y'all think. I want like objective criticism of how I did in the Boxing Voice today. Now, I watched it back. I thought I did pretty well. But what did you guys think? I don't know if I'll co-host like every day with them, but I'll definitely try to go on at least one more time. But gonna definitely go to some gyms starting next week for sure. I'll take it, but hit me up. I'm in Mass. What part of Mass are you in, man? Because my family, I got a lot of family in Mass, like Lawrence, Lowell, Chelmsford, Lynn, obviously Boston, a lot of places. You know, spent many days in Massachusetts, and I gotta go there anyway at some point because I still want to go see the Rocky Marciano statue out in Brockton. I'm still gotta go to see Demetrius Andrade at some point, and when he gets back in camp for a fight. Out there in Rhode Island. So I'll be in Mass at some point. When, I don't know, but I'll be in Mass at some point. So let me know where you're at. Get in contact with me on like social media if you have one. If you don't have social media, then email me. Win or lose, who cares what Canelo does? He gets the money from me. There you go. There you go, champ. Where we at right now? Lawrence, Massachusetts. Shout out my man Boston Province out there in Lawrence. My grandma used to live in Lawrence. I used to spend a lot of days as a kid in Lawrence. Shout out to Lawrence. Jersey, AMG Fresh out there in New Jersey. Yo, True School, do you think Bam will move down since it looks like Estrada's going to take the Cholatito payday? I don't think Bam wants to be in the same division as his brother. He said it. He said it already, Hyro. Like, he wants to go down to 112. I think the fight to make for him, if he gets past this test and he wants to continue challenging himself, the fight to make at 112 is Bam Rodriguez versus Junto Nakatani. That's like one of the best fights in boxing. No doubt about it. There's another AJ Usyk press conference Wednesday in London. And I think in New York the week after, but the New York one isn't confirmed yet. It's just rumored. Okay. Well, shout out to them. Funk Rate says, hey, BT, love the grind. Question, do you think Usyk is already down 5 rounds? This has a weird feel to me. Well, I kind of highlighted that. I highlighted that in my video I dropped. I said that, look, one thing you must understand about Anthony Joshua fighting in Saudi Arabia is he's got a lot of connects and a lot of pull with with the Saudi princes and things like that. They just put up a ridiculous site fee for this fight. So Anthony Joshua is generating a lot of money for, what they call the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. So it's like they're not gonna if it comes down to Usyk and Joshua in a close fight, they're not leaving that shit to chance. So I think Usyk got to do what he did in the first fight again, and maybe even take it up to another level, if at all possible. All right. It's kind of sad that Charlotte got a gift, and it's not gonna be a world champion no more. To Charlatito making another payday fighting Martinez. Those diapers are expensive. Yeah, man. They shouldn't have robbed. They shouldn't have robbed Charlatito. That was one of the saddest days of my life to see him get robbed in person. Rob Calico says, "What's that record plaque on your wall?" Well, first of all, this is not my wall. This is not my place. I'm at my friend's house. Okay, but that is a Tupac plaque on the wall. Shout out to Tupac. Boston. Shout out to Beantown. Yeah. Let me know, man. Let me know. Let me get in touch with me on social media. Michael, just go on my the True School Sports channel. Click the About section, and you'll see my Instagram and things on there. Robert Sanchez, what's good, champ? I know you excited. For this weekend. We got Bam Martin in San Antonio. I know I was supposed to get up with you out there, but I couldn't make it, so it's unfortunate. But I'll be in LA for the Ryan Garcia fight. So if you're gonna be at that, that's what it is. Yeah, man, Bam Rodriguez this weekend, man. I mean, I know I said it the last live, but I gotta keep saying it so that more people hear what I'm saying. Bam Rodriguez is doing what you want your young fighters to do. He's truly challenging. He's challenging himself in circumstances that don't really favor him. When we look at the top young fighters in the sport, I think his name's got to be mentioned a lot. It needs to be mentioned a lot more with Devin Haney's and Shakur's and things like that. Obviously, his first big fight was a Cuadras fight, so maybe he doesn't have the resume those guys got yet, but he's fighting Rungvisai. That's about as dangerous as a challenge as you could get around those weights. So, yeah. I think a more aggressive Joshua walks into a counter left hand from Usyk. Yeah, absolutely. I think Joshua being more aggressive will actually be his downfall, and it won't end up well for him like people think. You know what I'm saying? So that's the intrigue of it all. Will AJ fight like a big man? Will it really help him the way people say it will help him? Because a lot of people say, "Oh, well, yeah, he's just gotta do this and he won the fight." And I don't think it's that straightforward. Anthony Joshua beating a guy like Usyk isn't as straightforward as being an aggressive fighter and walking him down. Plenty of guys when he was at cruiserweight, a lot of guys try to walk him down and it didn't work out for them. Ask Marius Breedis. Ask a lot of these guys. Didn't work out for them. If Bam wins, I will say he's top 10 pound for pound. Listen, the pound for pound list is I think right now, you guys could let me know what you think, but I think the reason why it's so hard to do a pound for pound list in boxing right now is because I don't think there's been a time in boxing in recent memory where you've had so many guys that have legitimate claims being top 10 pound for pound. If Bam wins, I think at that point you have about a legitimate 15 to 18 guys you could say are top 10 pound for pound that would have a great claim to being top 10 pound for pound. And that's why no matter whose pound for pound list you look at, whether it's ESPN, Ring Magazine, mine, anybody's pound for pound list, you're always going to have some sort of arguments. You're always going to have some sort of disagreements because right now there's a lot of fighters in boxing doing a lot of great things. I was watching how well Anoy Reyes gloves fits. Do you know if the glove makers take measurements of the fist like a tailor for a big name fighter? I don't know about Reyes. I've never worn Reyes, so I can't speak about Reyes. But I do know for like some other gloves, they will make gloves that are custom tailored to your hands. But I don't know about Reyes because I've never worn Reyes gloves. I've always wanted Reyes gloves too. They had these platinum Reyes gloves that I always said if I ever took boxing seriously, like back when I used to train and had aspirations of one day being a fighter. I don't have them anymore, but when I did, I always said if I ever took boxing serious, I would buy these platinum Reyes gloves. I never bought them because I never took boxing serious, but I don't know. I never worn Reyes. Shout out to Pops. Everyone give your respect and give your shout outs to Pops. He says Usyk looks bigger than the first fight. Yeah, he does. And shout out to Pops with the throwback True School logo as his picture. The throwback, the OG. Something tells me Joshua may be on his TV talk like when he fought Andy Reid that second fight, but that will work against Usyk. Will that work against Usyk is a question. Both are warriors no matter what. And Gerald, you know, I love hearing comments like that from people like you because a lot of times in boxing, like today on the Boxing Voice, like Ness, like I love Ness, respect to him, but like he was trying to prop up Beterbiev by putting out Inoue. Like he called Inoue the fake monster, but he called Beterbiev the real monster. And my thing is they're both monsters. They're both knocking the fuck out of great fighters. They're both showing people how it's done on a routine basis, how you should be winning championship fights. But as far as your question, I think Usyk can beat Joshua whichever way he chooses to fight. I just think this could be – I really feel like this is one of those scenarios where a guy just may have your number. You know, if Usyk wants – if Joshua wants to come forward, I think Usyk will have the answers to that. And we've seen already, Joshua tried to box a little bit in that first fight, and it worked against him. So I don't really see apart from being a bigger man and using that size to barrel down on top of him, I don't really see how he's going to beat him. But that's the intrigue of it all. We just don't know fully what happens until the day of the fight. Yo, BT, will possibly live. It makes sense to have a Puerto Rican support another Puerto Rican. Well, I'm going to know I'm going to go live for sure. I'll probably have him on here tomorrow with me. Yeah, we'll go live for it. We'll go live for it. We got to support Jonathan Gonzalez. You know, we got to support the only Puerto Rican fighter in recent memory that has fought a Mexican fighter and actually won a fight, a significant fight. Okay? So that guy deserves coverage. That guy deserves credit. And we're going to give it to him here on True School Sports. We don't care if he's 108 pounds. We don't give a damn. Brandon D says, pound for pound definition of standards for me is what Roy Jones Jr. did. The only heavyweight that should ever be considered, seeing how he moved up in his era. Yeah, I mean, look, Roy was great. Roy beat some really great fighters. Roy, at his best, was the most sensational fighter that may have lived as far as modern boxing, as far as like the guys that we've seen being able to watch in color, you know? So that's what it is. Yeah, man. I'll tell you this. I don't really fuck a pound for pound no more because the last time I tried to do it, I found out that it's a battle you can't win. But what I'll tell you this, if I had a pound for pound list, the like 4 guys that I would have on it, the 4 or 5 guys that'll be on my pound for pound list with no debates, okay, or 6 guys that with no debates that'll be on my pound for pound list, and you can debate the rest after that, would be Terrence Crawford, Usyk, Inoue, Beterbiev, Chocolatito, and Stephen Fulton. Them 6 fighters would all get on my pound for pound list with 0 questions asked. Everyone else is up for grabs, and Bivol as well. So those 7 fighters. Other than that, the other 3 spots are up for grabs, and you can fill it out however you want to fill it out. But those are the 7 fighters for me that have to be on the pound for pound list because of performance, because of opposition they beat, because of the skills they've shown. The ability to scale weight classes, the dominance of a weight class. These guys are doing the damn thing. They're all the way in their bag. So much respect and much shout out to them. You know, yeah, Beterbiev, Bivol, Chocolatito, Inoue, Crawford, and whoever else I said. Salute to the Puerto Rican fighters. One of my favorites was Cotto Camacho Trinidad. Salute to Boots trainer. He's Puerto Rican as well. Great trainer. His dad? His dad is black as the ace of spades. Which trainer? Oh, you're talking about Rob Acosta. His other trainer. I thought you were talking about his dad because Bozy he's about as black as the ace of spades. He's about as black as Wesley Snipes. So, you know, I'm glad I cleared it up. Yeah, shout out to my guy Acosta though, great guy. You know, really made me feel welcome at his gym in Philly. But it's your boy BT, the untouchable True School Sports Empire. You know, some people get tired. Here on True School Sports, we get better. Some people get tired. We get money here on True School Sports. So it's just great to be here. You know, I was on the Boxing Voice earlier. You know, we've been putting out that world-class content with Boots and all these guys in Philly and all these different types of interviews. And the crazy thing about it, guys, all these videos I've been putting out, I haven't really shot any videos in like 4 or 5 days. 3, 4, 5 days. So that's the crazy thing about it. You got a nice room, man. Well, Chance, this isn't my room. All right, now. This is I don't know if you guys know whose room this is. I'll tell you whose room this is. This is my boy Sean Zatel's room from Fight Hype. This is his room where he does. This is normally where he does his interviews at. He's interviewed a lot of great people in this room on Fight Hype. So I'm at his house right now. That's my guy. And yeah, I'm in his room right now. He was kind enough to let me use his office. So shout out to Sean Zattel, one of the best in the game, one of my best friends in the world, with or without boxing. So yeah. If only they finished the ESBC, we wouldn't have to complain about pound for pound. That then we could fight each other. Yeah. At that point, I could fuck all of y'all up with Chocolatito and Riddick Bowe. They got Riddick Bowe on ESBC. That's the main reason I want to play ESBC, because they got my man Riddick Bowe in the game. And you guys know when ESBC comes out, I'm beating up every heavyweight with Riddick Bowe. I'm going to show you guys that in his prime, nobody's fucking with Riddick Bowe. Yeah. Yeah, yep. My man Sean. Yeah, from the Portaway podcast. Yep. Oh, that's Sean's room. Yep. That's my guy. Yeah, Sean Zattel's been my friend for a lot of years. We've been friends for about, I think, 6 or 7 years now. I've been friends with Sean since his Boxing Voice days. So I'm here with him right now. I'm gonna let you guys know this. So by a show of hands, there's 20 of you guys here. By a show of hands, how many of you guys remember the video game NFL Blitz? And if you remember it, did you like that game? Say yes or no in the comments down below. You see, we got and ESBC. Everyone I'm gonna be everyone at heavyweight with Wilder. Yeah. Great dude, real smart. Yeah, real smart guy. Yeah, one of the brightest minds in boxing. Man, how was that hot box with the boxing boys? You can't go to the boxing boys without hitting. You see that leaf on the wall as well. I don't smoke weed. I never smoked weed. I probably never will. But they weren't really smoking a whole lot when I was there. They smoked after the show, but not during the show. It was there were no marijuana smells when I was in the room. NFL Blitz. Yeah, so NFL Blitz is like it's this old video game. It's like this NFL game. Like you could hit people and the guys turn on fire and they DDT each other and they turn on, it's an NFL game that's not realistic, but it's a great game. It's like one of the best video games ever made. Well, anyway, that's a game that me and Sean Zattel play a lot. When me and him went to the Canelo Saunders fight last year, we went to the arcade in Dallas and we played that game with each other last year in May at Texas. This past March in San Diego, we was playing at the arcade there, NFL Blitz. So me and him love NFL Blitz. He got married recently, and when he got married for his bachelor party, he rented an NFL Blitz machine, and they brought it to his house. And me and him have like one of the most intense NFL Blitz rivalries. Well, the reason I'm bringing this up is because Sean, after his bachelor party, he decided to buy an NFL Blitz arcade machine for his house. So he actually has one in the living room. And what me and him were going to do was we were going to go live like this, and me and him were going to play NFL Blitz while we talk boxing and entertain you guys for a little bit. So I wanted to run that by you guys and just see what you think. Would you guys like to see me and Sean Zattel from the Portaway podcast and Fire Hype? Would you guys like to see us play NFL Blitz and talk some shit with you guys about boxing and whatever? Yes or no? Let me know in the comments. Michael Manning says Sega Dreamcast. Yeah, look. I don't know if you can see it, but look, there's a Sega Dreamcast right over there. Me and him were just playing NFL Blitz on the Dreamcast last night. We play NFL Blitz religiously. I was going to burn a fat one with you and Pops. Yeah, man. Well, look, you can burn it in front of me, but like I'm not really a smoker, so you're on your own with that one, champ. But I'll definitely go out and eat with you. I saw a clip of Russian Cuban punching technique. It's a bit different than most fighters. What do you think of this technique? Russian and Cuban technique. I think Russian and Cuban technique, especially Russian technique, it's more like the punches are a lot more textbook. There's a lot less wasted as far as inches from your front hand to when you throw the jab or when you throw the hook. As to where sometimes, like the American style, there are punches that are a bit more, what's the word I'm looking for? They're more like, I can't think of the word, but like they're more like unorthodox. You got the jabbing from the waist. It's more reliant upon speed, athleticism, timing, more so you're feeling your way through the fight. I think Russian and Cuban fighters are some of the best fighters in boxing for a reason, because these are some of the most well-schooled fighters in boxing. So yeah, I love the Russians and the Cuban fighters. Salute everyone, BT. I seen your Philly videos with Bozy and the whole team. Florida got hoods. but them East Coast hoods look and hit different. I'll be honest with you, man, and I'm going to keep it a buck. I've been to New York City hoods. I didn't really spend much time in Philly, so I'm not going to talk down on Philly. But, man, I'll be honest, man. I've been to, like, Overtown and Little Haiti and Liberty City and some of the grimiest parts of Miami, and really, I haven't really been scared anywhere I've gone. I'm more scared. See, in Philadelphia and New York, you got the dudes with the do-rags that might come and rob you. But in Miami, you got the dudes that look like Kodak Black with the golds in the mouth and the dreads. Those are the dudes you got to worry about. You know what I'm saying? LOL, Sean might take you on that game, brother. Best of luck. I'm rooting for both NFL Bits Classic game. Nah, man, me and Sean are even. We played when he rented the machine for his bachelor party, and me and him got games on the day of his wedding. We played 16 games. Me and Sean played 16 games. It's literally 8-8. It's 8-8. Me and Sean. I've won the last 4 on the machine, but he kicks my ass on the Dreamcast. He kicks my ass. I'm not as good on the Dreamcast as I am on the arcade. On the arcade, I'm a different animal. You know what I'm saying? Damn, every video game Geek's Dream is playing arcade games, talking boxing. Absolutely. It really is. Shout out to my man Charlie back in South Florida. He says, the Puerto Ricans are the finest boxers. That's right. That's right, Charlie. Talk to him. Talk to these fools, Charlie. We need Tony Harrison. I don't care about his chin. He will beat Fundora and whether WBC belt again. Dog food. Hey, well, I think he probably get a Danny Garcia fight next. If Danny Garcia looks good against Benavidez, I'm thinking that's going to be the next fight for him is a fight between Tony Harris and Danny Garcia, WBC belt. That's a fight that I know Tony's on record. He's already said it in the past. He wants to fight a guy like Danny Garcia. Big name, a lot of prestige that comes with that, having that name on your resume. So, absolutely, Danny Garcia versus Tony Harrison will be a fight that I think at some point does happen at 154. DFW Herbie, he says, LOL, bro, you have the patience of steel dealing with Ness for that long. You know what, man? I'll be honest. I wasn't really frustrated talking to Ness. I quite enjoyed it. I enjoyed talking to Ness. I actually found a lot of what he said to be very amusing, but I do have patience. I will not lie. Like, I think God over the years has really worked my patience through life experiences, and it really paid off today with Ness on the Boxing Boys. So, yeah, man, shout out to him. But it's your boy BT, the untouchable True School Sports Empire. Right now, we're about an hour and some change into our live today. I'm reporting to you guys live and direct from the fight capital of the world, Las Vegas, Nevada, and I'm having a great time doing it. Tomorrow we got the live fight reaction for Jonathan Gonzalez versus Barriga on Pro Box TV. Saturday is Ben Rodriguez versus Rungvisai. Sunday, we'll probably go live again, but I don't know for what. Maybe Monday, whenever Sean gets this NFL Blitz arcade machine fixed, me and Sean will probably go live for the NFL Blitz. First to 10. Me and him are gonna play a little like series, like first to 10. Whoever wins 10 games, they win the series. So yeah, that'll be a lot of fun. We'll do that. You guys can ask Sean to tell questions. You can ask me questions. We'll be there for quite a long time whenever that day comes. So don't look out for that. Michael says, I couldn't stand this at first, but that show has grown on me for sure. But the True School love was instant. Yeah, I appreciate it, man. Michael, I know there's a lot of love from you out there. Like I said, man, you're probably like one of my most loyal subscribers. I swear to God, almost every video, it don't matter if it's like 8 p.m. at night or 5 in the morning, you're always commenting. So I always appreciate you. And I hope, and not just for Michael, but I hope that when I'm putting these videos out, that it's making people's lives and days just a little bit better, because I know life is tough. I know we all go through things as human beings with families and personal stuff, and there's a lot of shit that people go through. So if this channel makes anybody's life even 0.001% better, then I'm happy about it. I feel like I'm winning. Man, it looked like you were on the Breakfast Club with the sound effects. It felt like it. It was crazy. So I walked in there today. They had a guy there. The guy's name was Bo Mason from Alabama. Bo Mason. He had a thick country accent. So he comes in. He's like, do you want any snacks? Do you want any water? I said, give me a water. They gave me a water. They told me where I was going to sit, what I was going to do. It was a good experience. I felt like a little fake celebrity today. It was cool. It's cool, man. Bernardi Pierre Lewis says, and AJ all day. Shout out to Anthony Joshua. We got a big fight coming up August 20th. Looking very forward to it. Gonna be covering it a lot here on True School Sports because Anthony Joshua, one of the faces of boxing, one of the biggest names in boxing. And whether you love him or not, he has been good for boxing. People can love Anthony Joshua. They can hate Anthony Joshua, but he has been good for the overall growth of boxing. There is no refuting it. British boxing has never been more popular or more relevant in the history of the sport, especially modern boxing, than the Anthony Joshua era. That is a fact, okay? We never seen crowds like Anthony Joshua's drawn. We never seen, the events that Anthony Joshua's put on ever before in the UK. I mean, we've seen good ones like we saw Ben versus Eubank. We had good ones, but it wasn't no 100,000. We had Carl Froch versus George Groves in front of 80,000 at Wembley Stadium, but again, 80,000 is great. It still ain't 100,000. So put some respect on AJ. Now he's going to Saudi, and I'm looking very forward to see how he responds in the rematch. Here we go. My dad. Yes. My dad finally keeps it real about the state of Puerto Rican boxing. He says Puerto Rican boxers suck right now. As a whole, they do. Jonathan Gonzalez is the only champion, which is true. He's the only champion, the only Puerto Rican that has proven, not through hype, not through hearsay, but by actual actions in the ring. He has proven that he is worth a damn, and he is champion, and he's fighting tomorrow on Pro Box, looking to make his first title defense against the tough Filipino Barriga. He also says Edgar Berlanga has been an embarrassment. Now, I'm not going to sit here and say Edgar Berlanga has been an embarrassment because Edgar Berlanga has not lost a fight yet, but he has been a disappointment. He has regressed, and he's looking like a hype job. Now, I don't like using that word, but it is an appropriate word because Edgar has not shown the progression that he needs to show. Now, does it mean that he will forever be a hype job? No. Fighters can change from fight to fight. They can develop from fight to fight, and he's no different than any other fighter. And I'm going to tell you this. He's got the best people behind him to make him world champion. If there was any promotional company in boxing that could make Edgar Berlanga a world champion, it is Top Rank Boxing with Edgar Berlanga. No, so just so you guys know, the card tomorrow is not the Zone. Jesus, the card tomorrow is on Pro Box TV. If you guys don't know what Pro Box TV is, Pro Box Promotions is a new promotional company headed by the former CEO of Mike Tyson Productions, Gary Jonas. They got people like Paulie Malignaggi, Roy Jones, Juan Manuel Marquez, and Antonio Tarver doing commentating, helping with fighter development, things like that. And they're a company that really prides themselves on competitive boxing, competitive matchups. And they've only put on 2 cards so far, but they've both been very good cards. And, it's an app. You can download it. It's $1.99 a month or $18 for the whole entire year. It is the best deal in boxing. You cannot call yourself a legitimate boxing fan, in my opinion, if you don't have the Pro Box app because it's affordable. It's giving you quality fights. The streaming quality is better than the Zone. It's a great app. I think Joshua gets cracked. We're going to see. I think it's very possible. What are your thoughts on Hakeem Lopez? I love Hakeem Lopez. I know him very well. I've been following Hakeem Lopez since 2019. I've got interviews with him on this channel, Jesus. Now, I believe Hakeem is the oldest of 3 brothers. There's 3 brothers because his dad, R.I.P. and God bless the one and only Coach Tito Lopez. May God rest your soul, and will you always have a special place in my heart. One of the best people I ever met in boxing. But Coach Tito Lopez, he had 3 sons. So Hakeem was the oldest. The middle one, I think, is Casey K. Champ Dixon, and then the last one is Najee Lopez. The best one out of all of them is Najee Lopez. But Hakeem is good. Hakeem is a solid, strong, sturdy 68-pounder who I still think is developing. I think in time he will become a ranked contender and be someone to talk about at 168. He did. The Middle East wasn't really like cracking like that before. So you're right. Gerald says, all right, brother, I got to get rest. I have a 4-mile run with my soldiers, but I watched the memorial in the morning. Tell Sean I said God bless us. I will definitely tell Sean to tell you said God bless. God bless you, Gerald. And best luck on your 4-mile run. I actually ran Not 4 miles, but I ran 3.7. Me and Sean Tatel ran 3.7 miles just last night together. So, yeah. Shout out to you, man. Shout out to Gonzalez manager for turning down the Kayaguchi fight because he wants Jonathan Gonzalez to raise his stock by defending the belt in October. He said Kayaguchi can wait for them. Woo! The only Puerto Rican world champion in boxing has spoken. Listen, man, I think Jonathan Gonzalez versus Hirota Kayaguchi is a great fight. I'm not one that really believes in marinating fights, but I think maybe in 108, where the guys are a little bit underrated, it may be necessary for a pocket of time. Just so, like he said, he could raise his stock, make the fight a little bit bigger, make it more important, make a unification, get it on the biggest platform possible, and give the fans a great fight. You know, Jonathan Gonzalez is a great, slick, but at times aggressive, counter-punching Puerto Rican fighter, southpaw. Hirota Kayaguchi he can really do it all. I think it's a great fight. I think pretty much any fight between the champions 108 is a great fight at 108. So looking forward to seeing some of these titles in the near future at 108 get unified. You know what I'm saying? So should be a great day when that day does come. But it's your boy BT, the untouchable True School Sports Empire. The True School Sports Roadshow continues. You know, we were just out in New York, then we were in Philly, then we went back to New York, then we went to South Florida. Now we're in Vegas, then we'll be in LA, then we'll go back to South Florida, then we'll be in Texas. So it never ends. It never ends for your boy BT. And yeah. I gotta wrap it up soon, champ. Great day for you, brother. Keep it rolling. I will. Absolutely, Michael. Thank you for all the support here and on the Boxing Voice today, and we'll definitely love to meet you out in Massachusetts. You know, so yeah. But thing on that note, guys, look, I've pretty much covered everything I've wanted to cover. I wasn't planning on making this. I wasn't planning on making this like a long, drawn out live today, but maybe for like 5 more minutes I'll stay on. Drop your questions down below. If y'all got any more questions, I'll answer like 2 or 3 more, and then I'll get up on out of here because I do got some other things to tend to. You know, there are always a lot of things to do here on True School Sports. So, yeah, drop your questions down below, and I'll be more than happy to answer them. And I'll definitely tomorrow though. You guys make sure you don't miss that live tomorrow. Let me see. Shout out to Todd. A classic Blue Horizon fight from USA Tuesday Night Fights to watch on YouTube. It's a heavyweight fight between Courage Tashabola and Darryl Wilson. Oh my God, Darryl Wilson is. Are you talking about the same Darryl Wilson that knocked out Shannon Briggs on the HBO Night of the Heavyweights? Are we talking about the same Darryl Wilson? Because man, Darryl Wilson punched Shannon Briggs. He punched his shit. He ruined the trajectory of Shannon Briggs' whole entire career. And Darryl Wilson wasn't even really punching like that. That's made it crazy. He was known as a feather-fisted heavyweight. What was the guy's name? What was that guy's name? Courage. His name was Courage. The guy, Courage. 4-round knockout. Okay. Wilson down once. He was down. Oh, damn. Darryl Wilson got dropped twice. He got dropped in round. All right, so I'll definitely check that out. I'll watch that one tonight, champ. It's a great fight. Kayaguchi punches remind me of Juan Manuel Marquez. Yeah, man. Very, 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 very slick, very clever boxer. Very good at adapting and making adjustments on the fly. I really, that last fight with Bermudez really won me over. You know, I wasn't really like a big Kayaguchi guy because I had seen him fight one time before that against Aaron Axel Vega, and I wasn't impressed. And when you factor in that he's like associated with the Canelo team, it gives me more reasons to not like him. But you know what? That Bermudez fight, it showed me a lot about his character. It showed me a lot about the guy inside, you know, his spirit as a fighter. And yeah, so it's like shout out to Kayaguchi, very, very determined, strong fighter. Amateur boxing is also on your schedule, BT. Thank you, Pops. Yeah, September, me, Sean Porter, and Sean Tatel are all supposed to go somewhere. I forgot where, but we're supposed to go somewhere for like an amateur tournament because you know, I still do have my venture with Sean Porter that I'm working on, you know, the Amateur Boxing Champions series. So, you know, a lot of great things happening in my life right now. You know, channel's growing, you know, taking care of business, taking care of my family, taking care of people around me. You know, all we need to do now is just find a decent woman and we'll be good to go. we'll be good to go, champ. That's probably the last thing that'll happen. Get this money squared away, get this channel where it gotta be, and then you guys know how it goes. When you got the money, they come find you. So that fight was a poor man's George Foreman versus Ron Lyle. Yeah, man. And if that fight is that, I'm gonna go watch it, Todd. So next time you see me, ask me about it. I'm gonna watch that fight. When I watch that fight, I will have a full report back to you and tell you what I think. Because it just by looking at it on BoxRec, it looks like an exciting fight. Hey, Todd, I'll give you a fight recommendation. You need to go watch Tyrone Trice versus Simon Brown 1. Really good fight. And if you've seen that fight, go watch. This is a fight that Sean put me on to. Sean to tell. Eric Morales versus Injin Chi. Both great fights. Both fun fights to watch. What happened to Brandon Adams? Pro Box really took over Ring City USA. Yeah, Ring City USA is out of business, man. They were doing a great job putting on fight cards, but now it's like Ring City USA is just ceasing to exist. So it's like it's really, 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 really sad. Melly says he thinks that Bam is gonna get it done against Yombasai and that he is what they say he is. He is a future pound fighter. Well, look, I hope so because I like Bam. I think his attitude, along with guys like Better BF, is just very refreshing in boxing, and I'm looking very forward to it. So I'm looking very forward to seeing what he does against Rungvisai, and more so than that, I'm looking forward to Rungvisai maybe even stopping the hype train before it gets going, because at that point, man, if Rungvisai could get Bam on his resume, you talking about a guy who now has wins against Chocolatito, Gallo, and Bam, and at that point, you would have to start asking yourself the question: does Rungvisai maybe have the best resume at split flyweight? It's something to really think about. Todd says I watched it live on CBS in 1988. So I listen, Todd. You've proven you've proven it, man. You know your boxing. You really are a boxing lifer. So I'm pretty sure I'm not gonna put much past you when it comes to fights and old fights. Michael Moore versus Bert Cooper. I just watched Michael Moore. I was watching some of Michael Moore's light heavyweight fights because to be honest with you, I never really heard much about him at light heavyweight. So I went back and I watched Michael Moore's fight recently when he fought Leslie Stewart, who was a good contender at that time. I believe he was a former world champion as well, WBA champion. And Michael Moore had a tough fight, but he beat the shit out of Leslie Stewart. You think Bam drops Rung? You know what? I'm going to say no. I think maybe he hurts Rungvisai. Maybe he even stuns him. I don't think he... It's hard, bro. I can't see Rungvisai getting dropped. He's just too durable, too strong. I think Bam is going to approach this fight a little bit differently. I think we're going to see Bam throw more speed and more volume. I think, we're going to see Bam use a lot more of those pivots, a lot more of the nuanced skills that he has in his pocket. Let me see. You're seeing on the Knockout TV Fresh Spot. You talk about 108. You talk 108. What about 105? Your wife is a 105 pounder. What about men's 105? That Sneeze rematch makes no sense. Sneeze Estrada's career is going nowhere. Fuck, man. Golden Boy Promotions, I don't know what they're trying to do with her career. It seems like they just really don't give a shit about Sneeze's career, and it's a sad thing. You're sleeping on Chris John. Shout out to Chris John. He beat Marquez. Shout out to my boy Chris John. If he drives one more side, you better keep him down. He better. Otherwise, he's done. Ray Mercer versus Bert Cooper. Another banger. Another one. Shout out to Mercer. So Ray Mercer. The second half of the year, Munguia Tang Bubu Charlo has to fight a top guy. One of them do. I would like to see one of those guys at least get a big fight, but you know how boxing is. This day and age, these promoters these days more than ever. There's always been an element of promoters protecting their guys and that kind of thing, but it's gotten to a point now where it's getting out of hand. It's worse than usual. So, we'll see. We will definitely see. Golden Boy is the place where decent fights go to become obscure. Well, because look, you guys gotta ask yourself the question: at this point in time, in 2022, what the fuck is Golden Boy Promotions? Like, I'm not trying to put them down. I like Golden Boy. They've treated me very well. So let me preface everything I'm going to say by first saying that. I like Golden Boy. They treated me very well. Shout out to Oscar. Shout out to Cecilia Zuninga. All the people in the staff. I got respect for everybody. But they only promote shows in Southern California. So with boxing already being a niche sport, you're making a niche sport even more niche by keeping it only in Southern California. They can't, do that. So they can't really promote outside of Southern California or Texas, and it hurts the brand overall. Let's see how Bam performs without Robert Garcia. Yeah, we'll see. Will you go to the Porter podcast? I mean, I haven't been invited to the Porter Boy podcast, but I'd never rule it out. I have a lot of respect, as you guys know, for Sean Porter. He's a friend of the channel. He's a great person. He's a true testament to the sport. He's the salt of the earth. I love Sean Porter, so if I ever got a chance to go on, I'd love to go on. Who remembers when Golden Boy was on Showtime and having diversity? Yeah, Golden Boy used to be the promotional company in boxing, and then we know what happened. We know Espinoza, Heyman, and Golden Boy and all this stuff. Schaefer, they all had a fallout, and PBC started. So it was just a shit show at the end there, to be honest. And then it made no sense because Richard Schaefer screwed over De La Hoya, right? And then he started Ringstar Sports, which was a colossal failure. Now he's got Probellum, which really just feels a lot more like Ringstar Sports 2.0. So it's like, you didn't even win in the end. You did all that shit, and you didn't even win in the end. So that's just what it is. But it's your boy BT, the untouchable True School Sports Empire. We here, man, talking about world-class boxing content in Las Vegas. Gonna be here for a good time and a long time. So if anybody's out here, let your boy know. If you go to gyms in Vegas on the right day, you might just catch me at the right gym from time to time. I might go to a gym tomorrow to watch some sparring. You just don't know where you might find me on any given day. But yeah, Golden Boy is where careers go to die. I mean, it's crazy, right? Because you talk about a fighter like Sinisa Estrada, great fighter, very good, great fighter, very marketable, just someone that you really think should be a breakout star in women's boxing. She didn't have a whole lot going on when she was not promoted, and now she got all the backing in the world. But now that she's getting the money, now it's like things aren't going her way. It's a really sad state of affairs. Will you go live Saturday in Australia? I like that Jaya Opatai fight on ESPN. Yeah, I'm going live for that. The Aussies really show me a lot of love and support, so I almost feel like I owe the Aussies. Like if I don't go live when a notable Aussie fighter is fighting, then I'm doing them a big disservice, and it's almost like a disrespect. So, and that fight is significant because like a cruiserweight, Breedis right now is the guy in the weight class, but the winner of that fight maybe winds up and goes ahead and fights Lawrence Coley in a big fight next. So it is an important fight for the cruiserweight division and boxing in general. And then in Australia, not so long after that, you got Liam Paul fighting Brock Jarvis. I can't remember seeing her on Fight Hype years and years ago now. Yeah, man, she's come a long way, Sinisa. BT, do an H Money impression. Bivol is ducking Zerto Ramirez. What's going on? It's your boy H Money, Mr. DAZN. We in the building. Let's get it. Dimitri Bivol is ducking Zerto Ramirez. He's ducking Zerto Ramirez. Gotta really, when you're H Money, H Money got a crazy accent because H Money has like the hood LA accent, but then he got the Memphis, Tennessee accent sprinkled in there. So it's great. You got to really enunciate some of these words. He's ducking Zerto Ramirez. Thomas H, what's good, champ? What's up, BT and everybody? At least AJ is going up against someone that AJ must know deep down can knock his ass out. And yes, you are correct, my friend. Usyk can box, he can punch, he can pivot, he can slug. He's a complete fighter of the highest order. And if Anthony Joshua does beat him in legitimate fashion, I think we got to start looking at Anthony Joshua as a modern-day great of boxing. 3-time heavyweight champion, beating Klitschko, beating Usyk, beating the Povetkins of the world, and, just a lot of name fighters of heavyweight. So, big fight for him. Moment of truth fight in his career. Definitely a watershed moment. Another watershed moment for Anthony Joshua in his really eventful career so far. Golden Boy was good when they went from HBO Showtime to HBO. The Danny Garcia Golden Boy days were great. Adrian Broner was the face of Golden Boy. Now all they care about is Mexicans. Oh my God. I almost feel like when I cover a Golden Boy show, because I'm not Mexican, I almost feel out of place because everyone Mexican, the whole staff Mexican, half the media Mexican. I mean, it's crazy. It's crazy, man. What do you think about a potential Victor Ortiz versus Alexis Rocha fight? It could be huge in my opinion. That's why I think Golden Boy is probably holding off on it. I never really thought about that matchup, but that's a big fight because Virgil didn't even fight against McKinson on that card. They scraped the card, but the card was still able to be sustainable enough for Golden Boy to move Rocha to the main event. Rocha had a big crowd that came up from Santa Ana, California, his hometown, to come watch him fight. So I'm thinking like you make that fight in California. You got a lot of Mexicans who like Virgil, a lot of Mexicans who like Rocha, a lot of people from Santa Ana to come up. Be a really good fight. That's why I think Rocha's now fighting on Virgil's next undercard. He's fighting Samuel Cote, a former Blair Cobbs victim who lost to Blair Cobbs already. So it's like could be a fight that could be a fight that they're looking to do down the line. And you're on to something there, Mel. You're definitely on. I didn't think about that, so you're ahead of me on that one. BT, Saturday there'll be a big arm wrestling event to determine the best arm wrestler on the planet. Does it sound appealing to you? Sounds great. I like these obscure sports. Arm wrestling, hot dog eating contests. These kind of events intrigue me. That dude said Victor Ortiz, not Virgil. That is a typo, I hope. Yeah, it's definitely a typo. Jamal Charlo is a joke. He claims Lecky is mandatory when Lecky is not in the rankings. Listen, I don't got nothing to say about Jamal Charlo, so I will refrain from saying anything about Jamal Charlo. One of the most pointless champions in boxing right now is Jamal Charlo. And look, Ness made a great point today on the Boxing Voice. Charlo pulled out of this fight with Sulecki. NJ pulled out of this fight against Parker. They should just fight each other. They need each other. Make that damn fight happen. You know what I'm saying? Make the fight happen. Stop messing about. And let's start finding out who's who at 160. Because 160's got too many guys running around saying they're killers. And not everyone can't be a killer. Not everyone can be the guy. There's only one guy. Maybe two at the max, but you got to start fighting each other. Melly says, I'm telling you, BT, Virgil gets a WBC belt and has no mandatories. That's going to be his first offense. Texas, LA, or even Mexico itself. All right, well, I heard it here first from my main man, Melly. Shout out to Melly, man. Yeah, Texas or LA. In the Boxing Voice, I realized that Jamil Charlo had a solid resume before he was champion. He did. He did have a solid resume before he was champion. Although I will say, one thing I probably should have told Ness is he mentioned Demetrius Hopkins. Demetrius Hopkins wasn't all that good. That's not that big of a win to go crazy about, but it's all right. Micah Moore at 200 pounds cruiserweight could have been the best. He was one of the best at light heavyweight, so you got a point. He might have been the best heavyweight, cruiserweight of all time. I feel like guys like him, Chris Bird, they really made the legacy of Usyk and Holyfield's better because these guys, if those guys would have competed in them weight classes, both those guys, I truly feel, had the talent, the skills to be the best fighters to ever touch that weight class. Ness dropped the Jack Colque. Yeah, man. He was hating on my man, Jack Colque. But yeah, guys, look, I think on that note, look, I'm gonna wrap it up because we're almost at 90 minutes, and I didn't want to make this too long of a live. But yeah, closing statements. Look, Anthony Joshua has to win this fight for his legacy. If he wins it, it takes him to a whole other stratosphere in his life and in his career. And I think a lot of people would have to really start putting a lot more respect on AJ's name. You know what I'm saying? So, big fight for him. Looking very forward to seeing how things develop the closer the fight gets. I'll be live tomorrow for Jonathan Gonzalez in his first title defense on Pro Box TV. So if you don't got that Pro Box TV app, go download it. It's $1.99. Pay for it. $18 for the whole year. You get quality boxing. You can't really beat it. Saturday, Bam versus Ron Messiah. Pop will be live for that. Maybe I will be as well. We may even have Angelo Leo on a live for that, but I'm not sure about that one yet. And yeah. A lot of stuff going on. Lot more interviews dropping, a lot more content dropping. I'm already working on guests for next week, so be on the lookout for any guests that come through next week. And we also got the NFL Blitz live reaction extravaganza with Sean Zattel coming up soon. So a lot of great things coming up here on True School Sports. I'm just happy you guys continue to support. And yeah, on that note, I'm gonna get up out of here. You guys take care. Have a blessed night. Be safe. Enjoy your life. Try to find some joy while you're here on this earth, because life's too short to be depressed and miserable, even though I know sometimes things can get us down. But I'm going to leave it at that. You guys take care. And like I say in every single one of these videos, you guys can love me or you can hate me, but I'm just a kid from Daniel. So until next time, take care, guys.